All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to PreMarket Prep. I hope you're having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible day yesterday. And man, what a great day it was. Peter should be joining us shortly. There he is. Good morning, Peter. How you doing today?
Good morning. I don't know why I wasn't connected the first time, but here I am,
You are, my
doing
friend.
good.
Good, good. Glad to see you're doing good. Um, Guys, let's take a quick look at some of the stuff we had yesterday. My list was very, very short. I'll show you here. We had Baba, Tesla, AMD, and Apple. So we'll start with Baba here. And what a beautiful pre-market activity this thing had. Obviously, they had news splitting their company into six parts, I guess. Don't know all the details yet, but obviously the market did enjoy that news and see how great it traded pre-market, and that continued on to the market open. Gave you a little bit of some profit taking, a little bit of a drop here right out of the gates, but then it did find a nice little base here. We also had it's funny, we had the call was at 10, I believe, which we thought we were not going to get a really good pre-market market open. We thought it was going to be a little choppier. And that's why Baba seemed to have had all the volume yesterday. I mean, nobody else was moving well. If you guys remember, AMD has like, what was it, Peter? Like 180,000 shares traded pre-market. I mean, it was a ridiculously low number pre-market yesterday. We're making fun of how everything was dead, all the volume was in Baba. Either way, here, guys, we
Oh,
did get, yeah,
Baba got the volume. It was the
yeah.
others like AMD and Apple that were getting very low volume. Yes.
Yeah, correct, correct. And here you can see Baba did get a nice little drop, and then after had a beautiful run all the way to 95 and then continuing to 99. So again, beautiful pre-market open for Baba as well. But even though they had no volume yesterday, look at Tesla. Nice drop here out of the gates, a really good 5 minute opening range. This it did settle down a little bit, going sideways for a while, and then you get the continuation. So again, just a lot of movement on Tesla yesterday. Already this morning, we've seen some good volume there. AMD was also very good, guys. If we look at AMD here, same thing. A beautiful drop right out of the gate here. Doesn't recover like some of the other stocks did, like Baba or Tesla. But man, this drop here, it's just an amazing opportunity there for a couple of plays. Then here it becomes tough, right? You get the bounce back and forth between VWAP, but you're not really taking off or dropping. So this is a tough area to play AMD at, but definitely very active. And then we had Apple yesterday, much more of a slower type drop, but then also gave you some opportunities. Dropped some more later in the day, and then had a nice rally into the close. So all four tickers yesterday that we're watching, I mean, gave you some opportunities, especially Baba and Tesla were extremely clean yesterday. This morning on our gappers list, we have tons of stuff in the green this morning. Some leading the way here nicely up. Lululemon is up quite a bit there, but a lot of green on here. Some of the Chinese tickers, some of the tech stuff, and also Bitcoin. So a lot of our usual suspect on this list. We'll go through them in a second and see what looks
And some
good for
surprising
today.
ones that are in the green. We'll talk about that. But
Oh, yeah, yeah, we definitely will. All right, excellent, guys. Let's get over to our market pulse and kind of see what's happening for today.
well, really, there's only two things of note, and only one that I think matters, honestly. Um, Nothing pre-market, but at 10 o'clock, we've got the U.S. pending home sales, which probably will not move the needle. What we do have is a second day of testimony. Barr testified in front of the Senate yesterday, and we did see movement. If you look at the chart, we can see it was around. Remember what we said yesterday, right? It's not going to be right at 10. It's sometime after the testimony starts. And look at that. The single largest drop of the day you can see happen. Carlos has got it up on the screen. Somewhere around about 10:20-ish, right? That certainly, the best we can tell, is a reaction to some of the testimony. Usually what happens is it's sort of the algos, right? They kick off based on whatever they're reading out of the testimony. And we might see the same thing today. We testimony in the House. It's interesting to me that it's Barr and not Powell that's testifying this time. I'm not sure what that signifies in terms of change of leadership or stepping up or what that means. Maybe some of you might know who follow it a little more closely. But expected today. The key thing is know that if you were in a trade, right, especially if you're in a long trade, because the SPY was sort of moving up previous to that drop, you may not have been ready for such a big move. The key thing is you've just got to be prepared that if things start to move heavy, that you're ready for it, right? Either way. But based on that drop yesterday, it could be a similar type of reaction today, depending on what happens. So really, that's what's happening. Know that fun, if you will, starts at 10 o'clock, and we may see absolutely nothing. Right, the House testimony may be a non-event, especially after the Senate yesterday. Roughly, it's the same message, right, that's going to be delivered, just a different group of politicians that get to ask their questions. So, um, anyways, we're seeing the drop, and Hamish is giving me some good correction that because of what they're testifying on, the testimony is against what happened with the banks, which sits under Barr's supervision. So I guess it makes sense. See, that's my ignorance on how the responsibilities are actually divided within the Fed. So there you go. So thank you, Hamish Hawkeye, for that.
Yep, thank you. Guys, let's get to it. Quick reminder, everyone, please move over to our new channel. Actually, I cannot keep track of both chats. So I see we have a couple of our great members here. Brian Melody, good morning, my friends. Top 10 music charts. Good morning also. I sent you guys the new links. I have that chat up here in front of me, and I see some people have made the move here as well. So thank you for that. Starting Monday, we will no longer be streaming on the old channel. So this show will only be on the new channel, which is BBT Community. I will send you guys. We'll pin the link in the comments in a couple of minutes there. So please make the move over. We appreciate it. We hate to do this, an extra step for you, but it's one that's one and done, and we won't bother you again for it. And our offer, Peter, still stands, right? If we get 250 likes in our new channel in the BBT Community stream, Peter will be taking a shot. Is it a shot of
there you go.
whiskey?
Well, sure. I'll take a shot. I got my cask strength going here.
There you
I've
go.
got the longer drinking stuff here. We're ready to go, anyways. So
And
yes,
do you
same
have
fun, same
the
information.
Everest cup? That's what we want to see. Do you have the Everest cup in
Yes.
there?
Yeah, we got the Everest glass here too. So that all of that is ready to go. I'm ready to
Excellent.
fill it. I just need the likes. So
It needs the
a
250
stoic
likes.
trader. I may not go with that
Absolutely.
giant cup that he's posting, but anyways.
um, let's see here, guys. We have a ton on our gap up list. Let's actually start there and see what's going on. So ARCT. This does not look fun at all. Look at this chart now, only 174,000. We're up 30% almost. I don't see this as being a good one this morning. As far as news, what do we have going on with this one, Peter? Anything interesting worth watching?
I really have no idea. Hold on, let me see if I
Yeah.
can get an idea. All right, so it looks like they had earnings, and they beat their numbers, which is why they're gap. They beat them quite handily, which is why they're jumping up. Keep in mind, this is also a low float, which means that it's going to move a little bit more than normal. Only 22, 23 million shares in the float, but it's an earnings play.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, let's take a look here at the next one. I don't like what I'm seeing here as far as volume. It's just way too spotty. Spread is not great. So unless this gets a surge in volume, it's really not one we would look at, especially after you mentioned. I didn't notice it was a low flow as well. So you got to be careful with that. All right, big one today, guys. Lululemon up 17% almost here, 434,000 shares traded. This thing obviously crushing it. What's the latest and greatest, Peter?
Well, that was earnings after the close yesterday. You can sort of see that big move up after the close. It sort of jumped around as it often does when earnings first comes out. This was right at 4 o'clock, but it had a steady rise through the post market and then the pre market this morning. So they beat their numbers and raised their guidance for the next quarter. So things are looking good for Lulu. If you want your yoga pants, I guess you're not alone. Everybody wants their
Yeah.
yoga pants. It must be Brian says how he loves his Lululemon stuff, although he's a Vancouver guy. This is a Vancouver-based company. I think he's just waving the flag there. But anyways, I've got a couple of Lulu stuff. They're good. Are they 5 times the price of equivalent stuff good? Anyways.
So you're saying you can run the same with some Target pants of 60% less.
Yeah, probably for like 20% of the price. Like they're very expensive. So,
Ron is saying
but
actually TJ Maxx, which would probably be a better deal.
TJ Maxx, I don't think I have any of those here in Canada, but How about the GT Boutique? I can go there.
All right, so there it is, guys. It not as far as intraday trading, I think today is definitely one to watch. I'm usually not a big fan of this one, not the pants, the ticker, and and but today I think today will be the day where you can find some opportunities. This is a big move, so I would not be surprised if there's some profit taken at the morning. If we might get a little bit of a drop, maybe an overreaction, but if not, either way, we move so much that I think we can get a breakout, hopefully of the high and low of the pre-market if we can stay if we don't get too extended here, right? So I think there's a play in here. We just got to be patient and see what's gonna happen. So Lululemon definitely on deck this morning. SSYS right now. Ooh, no, this looks horrible. We'll skip on this. I don't see anything good on this ticker right now. ENVX. ENVX. I mean, we see this ticker quite often. I think it's probably one of the worst tickers out there to trade. I'm really not one to put this on my list. Um, any news today? I mean, they're gapping up
You know,
7%, which is
Interesting that
significant.
SSYS and ENVX are both in the same industry.
Oh,
They're both in sort of computer parts, electrical parts, and equipment. I'm just trying to check and see what's going on news wise. On SSYS, they did. This was about a week ago. They did reject a takeover offer, basically for the remaining shares. But that's not really news. This morning, this ENVX, you said it pops up every once in a while. I can't say I've ever put it on my list to watch. They've got a partnership for a manufacturing site in Malaysia. That's the only news I see on it. Does it warrant this jump? Maybe. Maybe I'm just don't understand the significance of that news. It certainly gives them a growth opportunity, but like you said, Carlos, I'm not sure I'm going to put a lot of attention to it because it's if the volume was like a million shares right now, then maybe I'd be more interested. But at this current volume, I
yeah,
probably would
yeah. We have
skip it.
Dave Michaels. I was perfectly fine, Peter, without hearing your pen clicking, but Dave Michaels put it out there, and now he's got it in my ear. Now I got to tell you something about it. Do the same thing I told Artie. It's only get pens that don't click because it is a habit. So if you want to
So
put that all the way
nerve
over there
habit. I
by
was
that
playing with
nice
something.
jersey,
Sorry about that.
all good, my
Here,
friend.
I'll play with my BBT coin. There you go. Is that better? There, look
That
at
is
that.
better.
I love that.
Actually, let's do this. Let's get him to drink. Let's get him to drink the cup here. Let's get 250
There you
likes,
go.
and then we can have him busy with other stuff. Um,
Calm me down.
there you go. Let's take a look at Mara this morning. A lot of Bitcoin stuff on here. We got Mara, we got Riot, we got Coin as well. So Bitcoin must be up. I haven't looked at their numbers. I don't know, Peter. I have not found a good opportunity. Even on Coin is the favorite ticker out of all of them for me. I don't seem to have find good opportunities on this. So, anything worth on watching this one today?
I mean, look, this is really sort of in the ebb and flow of enthusiasm for cryptocurrency. I think what we're seeing is a little bit of relief that the problems haven't deepened with other banks that supported Coinbase, and their affiliates. If you remember, we had some issues early on with Silvergate, and the big fear was that was going to cause a big cascading effect, and or it would create an immediate raft of regulations that would make it more difficult to trade crypto. Neither has happened. So I'm not seeing any specific news, but I do think, as like the testimony yesterday with the Senate, I took a brief look through a transcript that I found. They really didn't focus on crypto at all, which I think is why we're seeing sort of coin go up. It's almost like, oh, thank God they didn't mention us, right? We're safe to grow a little bit. So, but that's really that's a guess on my part, but that's what I think is happening.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Again, coin will be the best one. Maybe coin is a possible. I don't see a whole lot on it right now, but we'll give it some room here. So that covers all our Bitcoin tickers on here. EBS is on deck. Not looking great this morning. Very bad pre-market activity. We'll skip on this one. BMEA. This has had a big day yesterday, guys. Look at this here. So whatever took place had a big pre-market action and a big decent intraday action. Does not look like a great ticker. It's a bio. Oh, this is the one that had the FD. Was it an FDA approved or some kind of uh, um, face trial that went well? I remember you mentioned this yesterday. So.
Yeah, they had a phase 2 drug trial that went well.
Yeah. Um, Again, I don't like these type of tickers, so be careful if you are going to be trading this today. They held though, held their pop. Usually, these things come back down to reality a little bit, but the market did held that move. Next on our list, VKTX, also another therapeutics type company that's pushing pretty nicely here. Had a big day yesterday as well. Today they're up another 3.3 this morning. Um, Again, I'll skip on this one. UBS, no, UBS is the bank in Europe, I believe, and these guys are just again they're not really tradable. They trade horrible intraday action, very light volume too. Rivian, again, there was a lot more Chinese tickers up earlier this morning. We got Rivian, we got XPEV, we have some other ones that seem to have dropped off here. Again, they're gapping up slightly 2.5 and Rivian about 2.9, but their pre-market action volume it's just non-existent, man. It's really, really low. The one we had some fun with yesterday was Baba, and I think Baba even today might be another one to put on the list. We're down 1.2, but the volume is there. The pre-market action looks good. I think this is what I'm going to add to the list here.
Yeah. Rivian, I think, is really moving in sympathy. The news seems to be on one of their competitors on Lucid. Lucid announced that they are cutting 18% of their workforce, including executives. So they're really taking a slash on the size of their staff. Oddly, Lucid is up, but only up about 1.9% this morning. I'm seeing all of the EV companies sort of take a little bit of wind behind them as a result. But yeah, maybe Lucid might be the one to watch. Pre-market, it doesn't look good. There's really not.
Mm,
Doesn't look great, to be honest.
yeah.
But it's the one that I see the best news on.
Yeah, it's crazy. These EVs, man, they were so high, and they're just gone to like horrible. Like there's nothing really to see here. Tesla's the only thing that really is that it's worth watching when it comes to EVs. I think for intraday trading. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but these other ones, man, it's just falling off the face of the earth really when it comes to intraday
You know,
plays.
it, Well, I sort of see it in the same light. We see this pattern quite frequently, and just to talk industry patterns, if the most extreme example to me was the pot industry, cannabis, marijuana, call it what you want. But basically, remember how we had massive, massive growth as we were looking at legalization, specifically in Canada, and then that was sort of leaking over to the US and some other countries. Canada was sort of leading the way with that. And we saw the massive growth in a number of stocks in that space. And then almost like the day it was legalized, they dropped off a cliff. And I think we're seeing the same thing in the EVs, right? There was a lot of excitement when they were all potential, right? Oh my God, the growth is going to be phenomenal. But when they actually get to the manufacturing phase and start to produce models, it's a company like any other. You're going to have manufacturing challenges. You're going to have the reality of earnings and how they're, producing against sales estimates. There's all that stuff that comes into play, and the stocks sort of get brought back to earth a little bit. There's always notable exceptions. Tesla's the one, right? Like Tesla just has never stopped. But if you look back at Tesla's history, when they hit manufacturing, they dropped quite significantly, but they just have kept recovering because there were just so many fans in that space. But to me, that's sort of what we're seeing. NFTs, there, Hamish is bringing up another one that's a good example. And it's worth understanding those trends because, one we're going to be talking about in a second here is AI. Right. Think about we had a bunch of AI companies. Now that was a real flash in the pan, wasn't it? Right. AI lasted
Hmm.
for all of 2 weeks, and then right, where are they now? Right. We're not even talking about them because generally they're not on the list. But it hasn't gone. But what's happening as it becomes a reality, right? It almost becomes it's not as exciting anymore, right? The
Yeah,
prospect of it, sort of
yeah.
like Christmas. That letdown on Christmas morning. You get so excited for weeks, and then Christmas morning you're like, I guess it's over, right? Is that it?
Yeah, yeah. So somewhat,
So
somewhat.
there you go. The old
Yep.
expression, as Benny says, buy the rumor, sell the news. It happens over and over again. And if you understand that trend, you can be prepared for it. And it's great for us as traders. Take advantage of it, right? While the rumors are out there, we can do that stuff.
Yeah.
MU, so speaking of which, MU to me is like the greatest example of that right now. MU had earnings last night. It's on our gap up list. It's sitting there with a 2.7, 2.9% gap. It's sort of bopping around here. But they had terrible numbers. They missed their quarterly earnings. They were 53% lower on sales compared to previous. They're announcing staff cuts. They provided weak guidance, and yet they're gapping up. Why is that? To me, the only message that makes sense here is the CEO came out and said, as part of the analyst briefing of their quarterly results, 2025 is going to be a banner year. And the market seems to be buying it. Why is it a banner year? Because of AI. AI is going to float this boat. We're going to see a massive growth in 2025. Remember, we're March 2023 right now. But they've said that, I mean, their
Yeah.
2025 fiscal year starts about a year from now, right, in 2024. But it just blows my mind, right? This is the buy the rumor. So okay, yeah, right. They're all in an AI. It's going to be phenomenal. Forget the fact they just had a terrible quarter. MU is going to be great, right? Like, anyways, it's a little confusing to me, but hey, this is what the market trades on, right? So let's take advantage of it. If MU is going up and we're going to see good volume, I'll put it on my list. I'll trade it.
Yeah.
I don't really
Yeah.
care if they meet their AI goals or not. What I care about is the stock going to move? So I'll
Right.
probably be
Right.
keeping an eye on MU because I like the sector, and we'll see what it does.
Yeah, I agree. And this is one of the best type volume we've seen in the pre-market. I mean, almost a million shares traded right now in MU. It's just pretty nice. And their daily looks, if you compare it from the 15 and on, you can see how great as far as the candles, not actually the actual move going up, but as far as the candle goes, that looks really, really nice there. So I like that there compared to what's been doing before. Look at these smaller candles, higher wicks. So let's see if we can get something out of MU today. I'm added to my list as well. We'll see what happens
And
there.
if I look at the chat room here, our members are very well educated, and they know their stuff, as they're
Oh
saying,
yeah,
right? Oz is saying last time MU had earnings, it traded terrible, and but the investors are optimistic. As Peppo was saying, the analysts are predicting a big gap up in the price because analysts are, they have their things that they need to pump. I'm a little jaded in analysts, I'll tell you right now, but they are forward looking, right? So they're going to jump on the bandwagon because if they can push it and it benefits what their messaging, then that's going to happen. So MU's not the best trading stock in this sector, right? I look at AMD for a reason, and we've talked about Nvidia. So those two are, I think, ones still to watch today. They're not on our gap list at this point because they're not doing much. But I'll keep an eye on MU to see what it does, and then understand how it plays to the others in the sector I like. So you guys are all right. It's fascinating to me that MU is not being punished for their terrible results. People are buying the hype. So okay, here
yeah,
we go.
yeah. Absolutely. All right, guys, let's get into what we like for today. Peter, outside of MU, is there anything else you have on your list that you're watching this morning?
We've mentioned them all. Like, I already mentioned the two, of course, in the semiconductor sector, AMD and Nvidia. I think that the standards have been good to me. Tesla
Yeah.
and Apple. I love to continue to watch. There's nothing special with them today whatsoever. And then the only other that I might keep an eye on, just because Carnival Cruise Lines, CCL. I noticed it's on our Gap up list. It's moving with a little bit of volume. I don't know why. I think it might be a little bit of a bounce after the concerns that were happening in that industry. They had earnings was it just a couple of days ago, I think,
CCL,
and they
right?
provided a downbeat. Was it? Was it? I can't
Was it
remember.
CCL you're
Yeah, I
talking
think it
about?
was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
CCL. Yeah.
Yeah. And Monday they had
Um,
earnings. Yeah.
Right. So I think we're seeing a little bit of a bounce after them going down on Friday. I'll just keep an eye on it. Like right now, again, it doesn't look great. 800,000 shares, but look at that price action. It's pretty
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
On a 1 minute chart, it looks to me like it's just computers trading each other. But that's the only other thing I've got.
Yeah, and even on Monday when this was dropping, it was still it felt like the price action was not clean. And if you look at these candles, you can see how rigid they are, right? They're not fluid, right? If you look at an AMD, the way it drops, it doesn't drop like this. So even this price action was, again, it was just tough to trade unless you got a really good entry. I mean, you're sitting here and not really seeing a fluid price action, although they had an amazing volume. I forgot the total number, but it was pretty significant. Yeah, it's just hard to read the price section when you have a stock trading like that. All right, let's take it to the room, guys. See what we got going on here. We will start with you guys over in the chat. So AMD we have on deck. MU is good. That one we have this morning. Apple on your main, says Prince Trader. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, I like Apple. I like Apple for an opportunity here. I like their daily, right? We've been kind of wedging a little bit, right? Lower highs really, and you got the base here around 157. So that could be interesting one way or the other. So yeah, I do like Apple. Maybe for a secondary now. And if I don't find anything else, I can always move this up. Let's take a look at Amazon today. Amazon this morning. I haven't put Amazon on my list in quite a while. Again, they're up 1%. I'm not seeing a whole lot happening at the moment. Their volume is not explosive neither. So we will sit tight on this one. Top 10, it says AMD volume is so low. It is, but it was lower yesterday. Yesterday was like a 180, and you still have some good opportunities, right? So we are seeing a decrease in overall volume pre-market besides MU and Baba, right? But and obviously Lululemon, they have news. But you guys remember Tesla was trading at this time, 3-4 million shares, right? So they're back down to 1.5. AMD's back down to under 300, where they were doing like 800 and more, 600 and more. So yeah, we are seeing a decrease in volume lately. Not sure why, but yeah, we are seeing that pre-market at least.
Yeah, I think it's just a little excitement in the sector, right?
Yeah,
Again, just general AI news, and I mean AMD specifically, as it's been touching 100, that garners a little more interest. So,
that's very true. Good point.
um,
Good point.
did you
Um,
did we look at the gap down list? I know there's only a couple of items on there, but
I skipped the gap down list. I wonder why. Let's take a look here. No reason why, actually. I just forgot. Let's look at FRC, which again, this is not one I'm interested at all. And they're down here this morning, 2.2. How have they been trading though? Let's take a look at yesterday's action. Yeah, see, I won't give too much credit yesterday because yesterday a lot of things kind of did this. You had that
yeah.
drop initially, so it's
So
yeah,
FRC is the poster child for regional banks right now because
yeah.
they were on the front lines for the recent troubles. Really, all the regional banks are seeing a little bit of a decline so far this morning. It seems to be a reaction to some of the questions that happened yesterday at the Senate. And we'll see if it continues today in the House on the need for regulation. Right, this is what basically happens in these forums. They're like, there was issues. We need more regulation. So regulation always hurts the regional banks more than the major banks because that tends to be where it gets focused because that's the perceived risk. Anyways, again, another opinion here as to whether the regulation actually provides value or not, but it doesn't matter. What matters is the perception that more regulation will provide greater costs and less profitability for the regional banks is what's causing a little bit of a decline. So we're only seeing FRC on our list, but if you like the sector, know that it could be further affected today as Barr testifies in the House.
Yeah, yeah.
STEM was the other one that's on the list. This is really just a secondary offering, just in case anybody's following that. It's a big drop. The volume today is sort of okay, but it's really just because they're issuing a secondary.
Yeah, yeah, which is usually not a great news catalyst to trade. All right, excellent. So yeah, Carlos over on our YouTube chat, we will get the closed captioning on tomorrow. Actually, I tried checking for you, but we cannot turn them on here on YouTube for while we're live. So I got to do it for tomorrow while the stream is not live. So yeah, we will definitely get that going. All right, guys. What else? We have a couple of more minutes. Let's take a look at Meta's daily here from Jason. Let's type this correctly. So Meta, yeah, daily looks good for a possible breakout. Very similar to what Apple has going on, right? It's just again, this pre-market action doesn't look great to me right now. Well, I might have to wait for the market open on this one. There was talks. I heard this over the radio about these guys focusing more on their ad revenue and videos. So maybe maybe that can help them out a little bit more. They had an incredible run though. These guys cannot complain from where they were in
No.
November. Man,
Yeah.
at 90, right? When when their metaverse was falling apart, they somehow managed to crawl out of that. But yeah, there's rumors of him
It really
focusing.
had no legs.
It had no legs. It was just a head that couldn't move anywhere,
Bad joke.
and And it was probably Brian's head because I know Brian's been in the metaverse a couple of times. But but yeah, it's man, well, heck of a run. We'll see what happens there. I don't see anything explosive right now. AMD is good. We have that on deck. Futu, um, no, they had their big day yesterday, right? What was it? Earnings yesterday? Man, look at this drop.
Yes.
I kept them off my list, but look at this
FUT.
drop yesterday. Ouch.
Yeah, they really came out of the gate poorly yesterday. So they did have earnings and did well with their earnings, but they basically gave it all back.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if you're going to see anything on this, guys. The volume is so light this morning. And the AKR, that's the issue with CRM too. CRM is another one that you just don't get volume. They're daily. Again, slow mover here, maybe good for swing trading if you have an opportunity. I mean, it looks extended now for swing trade, but for day trading, this just doesn't look great, man. And we've seen it when it has actual volume and it has a news catalyst, like it probably did here, and even on these type of days it doesn't do all that good. So yeah, one I usually keep off my list. All right, we'll do one more. What do we have here? Lululemon. Okay, we already checked that one, so actually we're good. Let's head over to our community events and announcements. We'll come back and do levels for this list we have here.
So we got a lot going on today to mention. Let me start, Carlos, if I can. I'll just talk about
Yeah.
for one of the member benefits is that prior to this show, we do have engineering the markets with Jared. So for all of our room members, that's a benefit you get. Jared does that analysis. He looks at options chains. He sort of gives you a market analysis, an overview. He was doing some stock analysis and review, but it's more industry oversight and information. It's great stuff. So don't be afraid to join us. 8 o'clock it happens on Monday through Thursday in the main chat room. Now, that's not the only thing Jared does. He also manages the options chat room with the support from Megan. And it's one of those days where we're doing it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. The options chat room is active, and we'll have both Jared and Megan there. Despite it being Megan's birthday, she's here with us. So we want to issue a big happy birthday to Megan. Congratulations. You look fantastic for 21, and just keep up the good work. Thank you for everything you do with us in the community, and we love you out there. So, happy birthday to Megan. Now, Mondays in the room, as Carlos has got up here, we always have our onboarding class. So if you do join, you can take advantage of that and get that onboarding session, which happens at 8 o'clock. Last night we had our strategy and trade book session, and that was, if we can flip to that, bing. That was delivered by Paris and talked about scalping and utilizing the tape. So, and we have a new one coming every Tuesday, right? So next Tuesday we'll have a new session. Wednesdays, today we focus on psychology, and tonight Mike is going to be talking about how to achieve your goals and how to find a strategy to help with that. Now, this is a session that Mike has put together. It's sort of a shortened version of a bigger program that he's got. And if you're interested in that big program, you can get access to that, and you don't have to be a member. Go to tradingterminal.com, and in there we have the Academy. And in the Academy, there's all sorts of a la carte paid courses that you can take advantage of. Both Paris and Mike have sessions in there that you can take advantage of on the same topics that they're teaching here, but in a huge degree of depth. It's well worth the value. It's worth checking it out. So go check out those courses right there. Mike's is brand new and just being released. I think, Mike, is it already out there, or is it being released after the webinar? But hopefully it's available. It's already released. All right. Thanks, Mike. So it's already out there. Go check it out at tradingterminal.com under the Academy, and you can see all of the, again, a la carte paid courses that we have available. But tonight, if you're a member, you can take advantage of Mike's webinar, again, as part of your membership in the webinar room. That brings
Yeah.
us to Thursday.
And let's add to that, Peter, as well. For the first month, Mike is going to be doing a one-on-one mentorship session for anyone that buys that course. So take advantage, guys. 1 month goes by very, very quickly.
Yeah. So, Maka, to your question, the stuff we're showing you on the screen, these courses are available every week. If you're a member, it's free and included. The Monday onboarding, the Tuesday strategy and trade book, the Wednesday psychology, and the Thursday mentorship, that's all included, right? If you buy sort of an elite membership, That's all part of it. The stuff that's in the academy is paid services. Is outside of the membership. They're very specific courses that were put together if you're interested. So, there's no obligation, but there's some great stuff in there. I could tell you we've had some excellent feedback. Eamon's got a course in there. Paris has got one. Mike has got his newly released. There's huge value in it if you're interested. So sometimes people want to go in deep depth on a certain topic. This gives you that opportunity. Okay. So, as I mentioned, Thursday is all about mentorship. We have 2 mentorship classes that are available to our members, to our elite members. So that's at 11 o'clock and 8 o'clock, delivered by John and Thor, respectively. Those are in the webinar room. And like I was just mentioning, right, Trading Terminal is a great place to go to get all sorts of information. Right, we have courses available, but most of the stuff is all for free. We really wanted to provide a one-stop shop for an active trader. Where do you go to get your information, your news on IPOs, on earnings, on market events, on the scanners, right? If you want to sort of have some scanners to take a look at the market, it's all in there, including insider information, which is the page that we've got up right here, as well as your news. It's all in there, right? So go check it out. It's a great resource, and our simulator, right, as Carlos is showing here, it's all fantastic stuff, and all of that stuff is free. Okay, so check it out, and if you wanted to join us here at Bearable Traders, we have a number of membership options for you. The intro, like we keep mentioning, is free. Intro just to the Education Center. It gives you access to a limited number of courses, and it's just to give you a feel for what we do here and the type of material that we produce. We're very proud of all the material that we produce and the quality and depth of the material, and you can get a feel for that with this free intro. If you wanted to join, you can join with a basic or elite membership. The best value always being the elite annual, where it's a one-time fee for the full year, but you get access to all that we have within Bearable Traders. So check it out. $100. Sorry, it's $1,000. $999 for the entire year, and that gives you about a 60% discount off of the elite monthly rate. So hopefully we'll see you here in the room sometime soon. With that, let's get to setting some levels on the stuff we've got and get ready for this market open.
All right, thank you, Peter. Let's rock and roll here, guys. So right now, let's look at, we have Lulu, we have Baba, MU, AMD, and Tesla, which look actually pretty good, not too bad. Let's start with Lululemon here this morning, guys. These guys are up huge, 16.4. And we were chatting here in the YouTube chat about how the spread can be nasty at times. So be very, very careful. This is a stock that can be very, very spready. Also, it can move a ton. So you do not have to take a whole bunch of shares. You can actually take a very small amount and still get a very decent move. I mean, just look at the range this morning in the pre-market. Our pre-market low is 362. The high is 377, right? And this started moving from 320 last night. So again, it can move a lot, guys. You could take just a couple of shares and turn out to be a really good move for you. So manage your risk accordingly.
Carlos points out, yeah, you got to be careful on Lulu. The spread can be massive. Like it's showing 40 cents right now, but it can jump up to $1.50. And yeah, just be careful with it. I've traded it. Actually, it's been a couple of years since I've actually traded it, just because that spread scares me away. I love the low spread stocks. They keep me comfy.
Absolutely. So it's funny. Carlos in the YouTube chat saying, "Hey, have I watched Netflix lately?" And I thought he was talking about actual Netflix. So I asked him. I responded back to him, "No, is there anything good?" And he's talking about, yeah, it's been performing well since Monday the 27th. He's talking about the ticker. But the way he phrased the question, I'm like, no, is there anything on that I should go on and take a look at?
Oh, yeah.
The stock, yeah. So here it is, guys. Yeah, it's had a nice little rally here over the last couple of days, but today, man, I don't see anything happening, which is typical Netflix. You unless there's any news, you're not going to get a big pre-market activity. Yesterday we had a very nice big move, but many tickers did this. We had great moves on Baba, AMD, Tesla. So you can't give them too much credit for yesterday, but I can see they've been moving well. Today I don't see anything on there. If you have the space, you can put it on your secondary list. But I really like the list I have today. I think especially MU, looking forward to that one doing something nice today if it can. of all the action it has this morning in the pre-market volume wise and the news. But for the most part, yeah, Netflix is a hit or miss, and you can't really tell a lot by the pre-market. You kind of have to wait for the market open on that one. Um, all right, back to Lululemon here. We're talking about high and low of the pre-market 377.41, the lowest 362.99, and then we have this huge space down here. We're going to go over to the left and see what's the last time we were hanging around this area. And towards the top, we do have 385.95. That is good there. And then towards the bottom, I do like this level here because it has the most touches, right? You can see that right on here. A lot of support being done there, a little bit of resistance here as well. That's going to be 348.09. In between, you got a couple of levels that is worth marking. 354 is a good one. I think that's a good midpoint. Also, a bunch of days opening, closing right around that area there. So I think this is pretty good for Lululemon. Oh, look at this drop here, guys. Careful trading pre-market. With the spread even getting worse pre-market, you can get drops like this. This is, guys, this is a 373. This is a $5 drop right there, right? So just it kind of shows you how much this can move. Be very, very careful. All right, let's take a look over at Baba next. So here's Baba this morning. It had a decent day yesterday. Very good intraday action in both long and short. High low of the pre-market 95.55. The high of the pre-market at the moment sitting at 98. But I do like this area here, right? 97.78. And the reason for that is because you got this just one candle hitting that here is where you had a lot of resistance at that 97.78. So this will be important, a little bit more than the 98, at least when we get up to that point, and then the 98 can also play a part. But this 97.78, you can see that there's a lot of action happening there. Below the price action, below the low of the pre-market, 96.56. We're gonna head down here and see what do we have towards. Well, we have the open for yesterday around 95.28. We could slam a level there. And then below that, we have it all the way down here. Again, I don't think we'll get there, guys. 92.86. Towards the top, above 98, we do have your previous day close. We also have 90. One second, guys. I got a cough. All right, excuse me. We also have 98.85, a good level there as well. We'll mark that there also. All right, let's take a look at MU, which has tons of volume this morning. High and low of the pre-market, pretty close to the range, to the highs and lows of the last two trading days. They're slightly lower. I mean, I don't know if they're even worth marking. I mean, they're so close. I'm going to leave it as is right now. Let's see if we can break out of that. Above the high of the pre-market at the moment, we do have 61.75, so we'll mark a level there. And then towards the bottom, you're pretty much set, guys. Highs and lows for the last two trading days are doing a pretty good job in taking care of you. Plus, the previous day closed right on there, also showing a good area of support on MU. Again, my hopes are that it's going to trade well, but I'm not surprised if it's going to be a choppy ticker for today because it does tend to do that where, market open arrives and doesn't do anything fun for us as far as intraday action. Now, here's AMD. AMD can actually trade very, very well, even after showing us what is a not so great pre-market activity. We saw that yesterday where it was actually worse, and it still gave you a really good drop yesterday after the market open. So as far as this pre-market, we do have our high over at 96.02. We will slam a level there. Our lower pre-market is going to be over at 94.81. And then you're surrounded by the highs and lows of the last two trading days and the previous day close. So you're pretty set there when it comes to AMD. Looking to break 96. Let's see if it can get going here. We're starting to see a nice little run from 95, right? So look at this rally we had here. Short rally, nothing crazy. But from 95.30 over to 96 almost. That's looking pretty interesting right now. Let's see if that can hold. And we also, is the SPY going up? Okay, it's something happening. The SPY is moving very nicely the last couple of minutes with some okay volume. And I see that because Tesla is also reacting to this. And we're seeing Tesla up 1.8 right now, high of the pre-market. We're getting close to it, 192.70. So we will slam a level there. And then we're pretty much surrounded by the highs and lows of the last two trading days. I do have this 193.95. Where's that from? Where do we pick that off from? Let's see. I don't see that. That might have been high of the pre-market or something. I'm going to delete it because it doesn't make sense for today to have that on there. So I'm going to get rid of that right now. And there we go. And I think this looks a little more cleaner. If anything, between the highs from 2 days ago and the high we're trying to break out now, which we're actually breaking out of, The next level will probably be 194.48. That would be a good one right on there. So, all right, we're getting a nice little rally here on Tesla. It looks like AMD as well. It looks like the overall market is pushing things nicely. So maybe some news has broken out that is causing a little momentum play here. But yeah, looking forward to see what plays out here. And Lululemon taking a little bit of a hit, went down all the way to 368. So we'll see how that is going to continue. Guys, quick reminder, we'll get to what our moderators are watching. Remember two things. If you're in the old YouTube channel, Bearable Traders, the pre-market show starting Monday is going to be moving to the new YouTube channel, which is going to be the BBT community channel. We're streaming in both channels right now, but we'll be making the switch over on Monday. So please make sure to follow the new channel. The link is listed right on there in the comments. If you look at the pinned message, you can see that there. Also for our members in here as well, for our members in our community, follow that channel. Also, Abby will pin the link up there. That is where Andrew's going to be doing his recaps going forward. So starting next week, all his recaps are going to be done there. So the idea is the community channel will be Andrew's recap, pre-market show live, and the regular Bearable Traders channel is going to be more educational material, like the videos you've been seeing from Eamon, the stuff you've been seeing from myself and others is going to be on that channel. So that's going to be kind of like to organize things a little bit better. The podcast is also going to stay on the regular Bearable Traders channel. So the podcast that Thor and I do, we did episode 9 was posted yesterday. That's going to stay on that channel. So this makes things a little bit more organized. Pre-market show will be on the BBT community channel, which is the brand new channel we created, KP. For members in the community, nothing changes for you. This setup here with the chat room stays the same, but still follow the other channel because that's going to help you catch Andrew's recaps, right? So thank you for that, and for the support in making this switch. We hate changing things that cost you to do an extra step, but we guarantee it's going to be well worth it once we're all set up here. Peter, anything going on as we're going through this that we should look at? The SPY seems to be jumping a little bit here.
Yeah, nothing new that we haven't already talked about. You're right, the SPY is moving up a little bit. I didn't talk about international markets. They don't seem to be having a big impact on what's happening here. Generally, we've got some in the short-term futures. Everything looks green and positive around the world, which we're seeing reflected here in the U.S. market. Keep in mind, I just want to remind everybody one last time here. 10 o'clock, right? We've got bar testimony to the House. We saw a reaction yesterday. We may or may not see one today. Just be aware of it, especially if you're in a trade or considering a trade around that time. Be aware that testimony again starts at 10. Yesterday, it was around 10:20-ish when we saw the market move downwards. Today, again, who knows what will happen, but better forewarned that it may happen. So
Yeah. And as we're talking here, the SPY continues to push higher, creating a very, very nice move on Tesla already. AMD, yeah, something's brewing in the back end. We'll figure out what that is. If you haven't done so already, guys, hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. We would love to get to 250 likes before the deal ends at the end of the week, right? If we can't get it by the end of the week, then Peter cannot take his shot. The deal is off.
I know.
But I don't know if Peter's kind of wanting this to happen to have a reason to take a shot, or are you on the fence? Can you give us an update from your end on what's going on?
I look, if it was later in the day, then I'd be happy to. I think it's the early morning shots that get me that get me a little nervous, because last time I did it, went right to my head. So, and normally I don't feel the alcohol at all. So there's a lesson in that, but I will take it. I will take a shot of expensive, high proof whiskey if we get those likes in there. That's my commitment to you. But anyways, appreciate everybody that's here, and thank you once again. Happy birthday to Megan. I want to wish her a happy, good day, and
Yes.
be careful out there in the markets. We'll see.
Wait, one more thing before we leave. Our moderators list. Yeah, just a moderators list.
Of course.
And we'll start with you, Peter. You're watching AMD, Apple, Tesla. Secondary list: Lululemon, MU, and CCL. A couple of IPOs. Oh, we got an IPO for once.
It looks like I spoke too soon, right? I said that there was nothing, and the market said, "Hey, hold my beer." So now they're coming up with some. So
yeah. So there it is, guys. Megan, happy birthday to you. And she's looking at MU, Tesla. And guys, the options room is open today. Megan and both Jared will be in there this morning taking you through some option stuff. So definitely check that out. Brian, Nvidia, Tesla, Coin, Baba, and EBS. Wait a minute. Brian doesn't have Lululemon on his list.
I
That
know.
is
Weird, isn't it?
what in the world is going on here? We'll have to talk about that as he jumps on next here on the mic. Susan, AMD, Coin, secondary list, Oxy, Meta, Lululemon, and MU. And reminder for the book clubbers tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So those in chat. Mark Douglas, Disciplined Trader, great book. Paris will be looking at Tesla, Baba, MU, Lulu, and also AMD, guys. And that is our moderators list. Guys, take care, trade safe. Have an amazing trading day today. We'll see you again tomorrow morning at 8:30. Remember, in the chat room, we're at 8 a.m. for Engineering the Markets Monday through Friday. So Monday through Thursday. Have a great day, guys.
Take care, everyone. Have a good one.